Good evening. Thank you for joining us for our regular scheduled council meeting. It's Tuesday, July 28th, 2026 at 7 p.m. Ms. Clerk, if you'll call the roll.
Charlie Davidson, John Wells,
Here.
Linda Westhafer, Charles Schwenke,
Here.
Terry Osborne,
Here.
Troy Hill,
Here.
Brandy Bailey,
Here.
Jim Schrader.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Call the meeting to order, and if you'll please stand, Councilman Wells will lead our invocation, and Councilwoman Brandy Bailey will lead our pledge tonight.
Father, thank you for gathering us all here on this beautiful day. As we strive to make the right decisions for our community, please give us your guidance and help us along that path. Amen.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May be seated. Okay, first I have approval of the agenda tonight. Brandy.
I move we approve the agenda as presented.
Thank you. Jim.
Second that.
Okay, motion by Brandy, seconded by Jim to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 6-0. All right, next, do we have any awards or presentations for tonight? Okay. Next public forum, I do not have anybody signed up for public forum. Staff reports, Sean?
I'm trying to figure out where it's at, sir.
Feverishly wrestling through.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just a couple of updates for the city's current infrastructure and capital improvement projects. First of all is stormwater improvements. The city stormwater improvement project continues to make steady progress. As we know, Phase 2 is completed. Phase 1 is currently moving forward. The contractor has recently completed installation of new reinforced concrete box structures beneath Evanston Street, East Parkview Street, and Randall Street. Work is currently focused on Randall Street, where the contractor is pouring a reinforced concrete drive surface over the box structures rather than replacing it with asphalt. Although this requires additional time now, it provides a much more durable, lower maintenance, and longer lasting solution for the city. Once Randall Street is complete, the contractor will move over to Evanston and East Parkview to install similar concrete driving surfaces over the crossings. As far as our street improvement program, our annual street improvement program is also on the move. A pre-construction meeting was held today for the full depth reclamation project of Randall Street, with construction expected to begin within the next week. The FDR project on Independence and Cloverdale has completed the curb and the guttering, with paving scheduled to start later on towards the end of this week. These projects will significantly extend the service life of those streets while providing a smoother driving surface for our residents. As far as 85th and Broadway Roundabout project, it is on schedule. Utility relocation work by Kansas Gas as well as AT&T is currently underway. The project is anticipated to be advertised for bids in September. While bidding will occur this fall, construction is not expected to begin until spring of '27. Delaying the construction until spring minimizes the duration that this busy intersection will be closed and out of use, and reduces the impact on residents, schools, and the businesses using during the many winter months. Overall, we continue to see good progress on several major projects throughout the community, and staff will continue working closely with our contractors and utility partners to keep them moving forward while minimizing the impact to the traffic public. That's all I have, sir.
Fantastic. Very exciting to see the street projects underway. We've got a lot of things going on right now. Do we have any kind of estimated timeline on completion of the drainage projects that are underway? I know we're on Phase 1 still, 2's done.
2 is complete. Phase 1, or Phase 2 should be, or Phase 1?
According to their
And then Phase 3 would be out for bid within the next, we currently out to bid.
I believe 2 of them are currently out to bid, 2 of the 5 projects.
Okay.
Yes,
And
sir.
Will one of those take out hydraulic on the bridge there? Is it north of Evanston? I'm trying to think what road that is, not Evanston.
Come on up.
Denver.
Say again?
Denver.
Denver, yes.
Will one of them take out which?
Hydraulic right here, just around the corner.
Yeah, so as part of Prado's project, that Phase 1 that we haven't completed yet, that will take out hydraulic.
Oh.
So that will get replaced. Our detour is actually Randall, and so that's why we're pushing really hard to get that Randall crossing complete, to then get APAC in and get that FDR done, because in order to move traffic, detour around hydraulic there, we need Randall to be complete.
Randall's the detour.
Randall is the detour for hydraulic.
Will the access road there that runs parallel, that'll still be?
They
open?
will use the access road as a portion of that detour.
Man. How long, do we know how long that'll be out?
So I'd like to say 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
That is not typical on our crossings. The timeframes have been a lot lengthier, but as you guys know, we've been battling weather and other delays, utility relocations, water line lowerings, a variety of hurdles have come our way on these projects.
This one isn't likely to have any relocation of,
So we're working to relocate some some sanitary sewer before we do that. So there is one tie-in on that. We've already done the water line lowering, so that shouldn't delay it. We're getting into a drier part of the season. So I'd like to say that when they tear that crossing out, I hope it goes within the 6 to 8 weeks. I know our contractor is starting to get low on days, and so that tends to motivate them a little bit too, to get in and out a lot quicker. The boxes have already been made, so it's just a matter of getting the crane scheduled, getting those boxes torn out. But again, we have to get Randall completed to be able to do an effective detour.
exciting. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for the info. Council, any other questions? All right. Next, we have consent agenda. Jim,
I'll move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Terry?
Second.
Okay, motion by Jim Schroeder, seconded by Terry Osborne to approve the consent agenda as presented. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes 6-0. All right, next we move on to old business. Discuss and consider a proposed change of zoning district classification from the R2 Single Family Residential District to the R3 Multiple Family Residential District for property located north of 53rd Street North and east of Hydraulic Avenue. Sean?
Yes, sir. LMMI LLC is the owner of the subject property, and its agent PEC are requesting approval of a zone change from R2 Single Family Residential District to R3 Multiple Family Residential District for a two-family residential project. The subject property is approximately 15 acres in size, is undeveloped, and is currently zoned R2 Single Family Residential. An associated preliminary plat, the Glen at Park City, was filed and is under consideration on this agenda as well. Approval of this application would permit the creation of 46 two-family lots and reserve for drainage, utilities, landscaping, recreational areas, among other typical uses. The zone change approval for the property adjacent to the east included the requirement for landscaping along 53rd Street frontage, and the applicant has submitted a similar plan for this project. During its public hearing on June 15th, the Planning Commission recommended approval upon the request as presented 6-0. Following the public hearing, 4 property owners within the statutory notification area submitted 5 valid protest petitions against the request. These petitions exceeded the 20% threshold, thereby requiring 3/4 supermajority vote by the City Council to approve. During its July 14th meeting, Council returned the application to the Planning Commission to consider adding additional development design guidelines to its recommendation. The Planning Commission heard this case again on July 20th, 26, meeting at which time the inclusion of architectural guidelines and use restrictions were presented and discussed. At the conclusion of the public hearing, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the modified request presented 5-0. Staff recommends approval of the request subject to the following conditions, and they're rather lengthy. First of all, number 1, implementation of a landscape plan submitted and approved for the development shall be required at the time of site development. Number 2, the development is the subject property shall be restricted to two-family residential uses, in addition to the uses permitted by right under R2 single-family residential. Number 3, the following architectural guidelines shall be required. A minimum of 3 distinct two-family floor plans and corresponding front elevation designs shall be utilized throughout the development. No single floor plan or elevation combination shall constitute more than 50% of the structures within the development. B, similar primary body colors may be used throughout the development, providing variation is achieved through accent colors, masonry, trim details, and other architectural features. No more than 2 adjacent structures shall have the same exterior color scheme. C, all units shall include enhanced street-facing architectural elements consisting of at least 2 of the following: covered front porch or entry, masonry accent covering a minimum of 20% of the front facade, variation in roof line through gables, dormers, or offset building planes, decorative window accent, trim details, or board on batten features. And then finally, D, garage doors shall incorporate architectural details such as windows, carriage-style hardware, color accents, or recessed placement. And I stand for any questions.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna read through this here really quick as we get started on consideration of this item. I need to ask any member of the governing body has had any ex parte communication regarding the application. Ex parte communication means discussing the merits of the zoning application outside of the public hearing held before the Planning and Zoning Commission with the applicant, neighboring property owners, or other interested parties where the other parties did not have an opportunity to either hear or respond. If any council member or member of the governing body has had such communication, please disclose the nature of that communication for the record at this time. Randy?
I'll say I reached out to Sean today to ask him about one of the items in the opposing party's letter, and it was about the fire code or the fire district. I couldn't get a hold of Sean, so I did reach out to Ryan to ask him if the fire district had been considered and discussed, and then Sean did call me back and give me the information I needed.
Okay. It wasn't with any of the applicant or any of the members in the neighborhood?
No,
Okay. All right. And the letter you're referring to was the one in the packet that was distributed as a matter of public record?
correct.
Okay, thank you. Those disclosures will become part of this record. I'd also like to remind the governing body of our role tonight in the proceedings. The Planning and Zoning Commission has already conducted the required public hearing on the application. At that hearing, interested parties were provided the opportunity to present testimony, evidence, and comments for or against this request. Following that public hearing, the Planning and Zoning Commission considered the evidence presented and forwarded its recommendation to the governing body, which was considered at our last council meeting. The governing body at that meeting heard Planning and Zoning's recommendation, as well as additional information from residents and the applicant that was not present and considered at any information that was not present or presented or considered at the original Planning and Zoning public hearing. Therefore, council elected to send this item back to Planning and Zoning to reconsider additional information and possibly add development guidelines to the recommendation. The governing body's responsibility this evening is not to conduct another hearing, but rather to review the record before us and consider the Planning and Zoning Commission's recommendation and evaluate whether their recommendation is reasonable based on the information that has been presented. The governing body may ask questions of city staff, the applicant, or the city attorney as necessary to clarify information contained within the record before deliberating or taking any action on this application. Council members are reminded that their decision must be based solely on the evidence presented during the public hearing, the applicable provisions of the city's comprehensive plan and zoning regulations, and additionally, the criteria established by Kansas law. Personal opinions or information obtained outside of the public record should not form the basis of anybody's decision. Sean has made presentation of the Planning and Zoning Commission's recommendation and staff's recommendation. With that, I know we have two members that are signed up tonight. Tonight is not a public hearing because we've already had that last week, and then it was also had in the Planning and Zoning Commission. So I do recognize that you guys did sign up. With that, I would entertain direction from the council or motion. Charles.
Hello, first, want to express my opinion on the subject. I've done more reading on this subject in the last 2 weeks, I think, than I have on any subject we've actually ever had. We went to the nth degree to do some request of the builder, and we have a very good regulation put in place for the development of this community. I think always one thing we need to think of too is, do they qualify for this zoning change? And that's something that's very important, and part of our responsibility is to decide, do they qualify for this? And with a R3 next door to this property, it pretty well makes it clear that they do qualify for it, and because we've already changed one of the zonings to R3, and this would be a very similar case to the other one. Turning one down and accepting the other one would not be appropriate. I think most all of the questions have been answered. The exit has been answered with the design and the 47-foot street versus a 32 square foot or foot.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, oh, got it, yeah. I think the fire department has given their okay. The city, or excuse me, yeah, the city had, from the Wichita has given their approval of the project. I don't think we have any questions left that haven't been answered. And so I'll express the fact that I am going to vote for this change.
Do you want to make a motion, or do you want to allow further discussion?
Allow further discussion first.
Thank you. Brandy?
I was just gonna make a motion, but I'll wait and see if there's further discussion.
Let me, just for the record, I just want to also add to the record that attached with this item is the protest report, also the Glen Addition landscaped concept, the Glen Addition zoning factors and exhibits for the city council, Lakewood Hills supplemental statement and exhibits, and letters of opposition, and architectural examples of the proposed two-family dwellings. And then final is the revised ordinance for the Glen at Park City. Just want to make a matter of record that those are included in the packet and the attachment for consideration of this decision. Charles?
No, I just punched mine off.
Okay, sorry. Troy?
I move to approve ordinance 12, make sure I'm on the right one. To approve ordinance 1246-20, 26, an ordinance changing the zoning district classification of certain lands located in the city of Park City, Kansas, under the authority granted by the zoning regulations of the city as originally approved by ordinance number 1183-2023.
Brandy?
Second.
Okay. Is there any further discussion by council on this item before we call the roll? Brandy? Are you still lit
Oh,
up? Was that
no.
old?
That's old.
Sorry, I guess I'm off tonight. Sorry. Again. Okay, Madam Clerk, if you will call the roll, please.
Terry Osborne,
Aye.
John Wells,
Aye.
Charles Schwenke,
Aye.
Troy Hill,
Aye.
Jim Schrader,
Aye.
Brandy Bailey,
Aye.
Mayor John Linear.
Aye. Motion passes 7-0. And that required a three-quarter supermajority in order to pass. So it does pass. Okay, next item is new business. Discuss and consider appointments to the Community Relations Board. This was an application submitted by me to consider Holly Snyder and Kyrene Scott as members of the Community Relations Board with a term expiring in January of 2028. Terry?
Yeah, I think this is good. I move to approve the appointment of Holly Schneider and Kyrene Scott as members of the Community Relations Board with a term expiring January 2028.
Thank you, John Wells.
I second the motion.
All right. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes 6-0. Next, consider presentation of the 2025 financial audit. Sean? Sean Gordon, sorry.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Sean Gordon with Gordon CPA. We performed the 2025 audit of the city, so I'll go through that audit report that you have in front of you. We'll start with pages 1 through 3. This is called the Independent Auditor's Report. Here we discuss the auditor's opinion that we issued the city's financial statements for the year ended 12/31/2025. Further on down, we talk about management and council's responsibilities for the city's financial statements, and then a few more of our responsibilities as auditor. The most important paragraph here is the third paragraph down on page 1. You'll see an italicized heading labeled Unmodified Opinion on Regulatory Basis of Accounting. This paragraph pretty much states that we've issued the highest and cleanest auditor's opinion that we can issue, which is called an unmodified opinion. And that reflects very well on the financial and internal control management by city staff during that year ended 12/31/2025. The next kind of big section forward is page 4. This is called the Summary Statement of Receipts, Expenditures, and Unencumbered Cash. Here you'll see in the left-hand column all of the different funds of the city, followed by, for each of those funds, beginning cash, receipts, expenditures, and then ending cash. At the very bottom of that right-hand column, you'll see the city's reporting a little over $33.4 million on hand as of 12/31/25. The next big section forward is pages 5 through 13, and these are the notes to the financial statements. For those of you that have been through an audit presentation before, this section is mostly the same as what you've seen over the past few years. There were no major changes required by the state to this section. Here we discuss different accounting policies that the city follows. We also present information on deposits and investments, long-term debt information, CAPERS and KPNF retirement program, long-term debt. As I said, many items discussed in this section, but mostly the same as what you've seen. And then the next kind of section is pages 14 through 45. And these are just more detailed breakouts of those funds that we saw previously on page 4. In this section, we kind of break out the different types of revenues and expenses that take place in each fund. We also present a prior year actual column, so you can see how the fund operated against the previous fiscal year, which was 12/31/2024. And then if it was a budgeted column, you'll also see a budget column. If it was a budgeted fund, you'll see a budget column, so you can see how the fund operated against the budget. that was adopted by the City Council for 2025. I wanted to wrap up the presentations with, we did not have any auditor's recommendations to communicate to the mayor and council. So again, that reflects very well on the financial and internal control management by city staff during that time period. And with that, I'll stand for any questions that you might have on the audit report or the audit process as a whole.
Council, is there any question or discussion on the audit or audit process? All right, I guess we're satisfied. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, I would entertain a motion to receive and file. John Wells,
I move to receive and file the 2025 financial audit.
thank you, Terry.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? All right, motion by John Wells, seconded by Terry Osborne to receive and file. All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. 6-0. All right, next, item 3, discuss and consider approval of the Glen at Park City Addition, a final plat for property located north of 53rd Street North and east of Hydraulic.
Yes, sir. Again, LMMI LLC, the owner and its agent PEC are requesting approval of the final plat entitled The Glen at Park City Addition. Subject property totals approximately 15 acres and is associated with the zone change request from R2 to R3 heard earlier. The plat is designed with a loop street system with one street connection to 53rd Street North, serving 46 lots for duplex development. The preliminary plat for this property was discussed and approved 6-0 during the June 15, 2026 Planning Commission hearing. Concerns were raised regarding the subdivision providing only one street connection to 53rd Street North. The applicant submitted a final plat that reflects comments from the Sedgwick County Fire District Number 1, specifically that they agreed to widen the proposed Glen Drive from the entrance to 53rd Street to the point of intersection with Scottsville Street to facilitate emergency response while maintaining access to the subdivision. The revised utility concept also modified the fire hydrant locations within the development in accordance with the fire district's request. At its July 20th, 26 meeting, the Planning Commission approved the final plat as presented with conditions 5-0. Several property owners who are in opposition to the project submitted information related to the associated zone change application and requested this information be made part of the subdivision application as well. There are no identifiable costs to the city in approving the final plat, and staff recommends approval subject to the following conditions, and there are 6 of them listed. The first is the applicant shall revise the final plat to provide 60 foot of half-street right-of-way along 53rd Street North. The applicant shall revise the final plat to reflect the county surveyor's comments prior to submitting the Mylars for signature. The applicant shall provide updated drainage and grading plans for approval per Article 5-101 prior to submitting the Mylars for signature. Number 4, the applicant shall provide financial guarantees as necessary to the city for all public improvements required as part of the development of the subject property. Number 5, the applicant shall coordinate with utilities for any needed easements prior to submitting the Mylars for signature. And number 6, any utility relocation required as part of the development of the subject property shall be the responsibility of the landowner. Stand for any questions.
Thank you, Sean. Council? Charles?
Approve the final plat as presented and per staff comments.
Okay. Jim?
I'll second that.
Just a second here. Okay, any further discussion on this item?
Mr. Mayor, we didn't understand when we signed up to discussed this under old business, that we weren't going to be allowed to speak under old business, but could we speak under new business, item 3?
Yeah, I'll let you come do that.
Is that okay?
Yes. Just one of you is coming?
He would like to speak, and I would also like to speak.
Okay, I just asked not repetitive comments, and you'll have 5 minutes to introduce yourself. Again, all the comments that you make are to be towards the council as we are deciding on the decision on this. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Mayor and City Council, my name is Charles Weddle, and I'm speaking on behalf of my family, my mother and my siblings. We've lived,
Sir, before you start, I'm sorry, I just don't want to interrupt you when you get going. I'm gonna hold my hand up when you have 1 minute left. Just, I don't want to throw you off when I do that. You'll be, what do I got? So I'm gonna tell you when you got a minute left. That way you can start winding down. Oh, you gotta push the button on that microphone there, just so it goes on to the record.
There we go, sir.
okay.
Hang on just a second. Let me start your time over here. Okay, you may begin. Thank you.
My name is Charles Weddle, and my family has lived in Park City for almost 30 years now. We own a 22-acre property directly next to the land being considered for rezoning. We have no plans to sell our property. This is our home, and we intend to continue living here for many years to come. I understand that Park City is growing, and I want to support responsible growth. However, I respectfully ask for it to be denied, which I understand that it was accepted earlier on. I would just like to read what I wrote.
You're fine.
I don't believe this is the right location for high-density residential development. Our property is already surrounded by industrial development. We have Buckley Industries on one side and Pratt Industries behind us, which occupies roughly 80 acres, adding dozens of duplexes on the remaining side would surround our property almost entirely. I also question whether this location is the best environment for our future residents. Industrial parks bring truck traffic, noise, lights, and commercial activity. That doesn't seem like an ideal setting for families looking for a long-term neighborhood. If Park City wants people to move here and put down roots, I believe that new housing should be built in areas where residents can enjoy privacy, open space, and a neighborhood atmosphere, not directly between industrial properties. There are also practical concerns from my understanding. The development would have only one entrance, which raises questions about traffic flow and emergency access, which I know was addressed earlier. There also appears to be very little natural buffering between duplexes and neighboring properties. Without adequate trees, fencing, or landscaping, privacy will be limited for everyone involved. Our family uses our property every day. We have dogs, spend time outdoors, and enjoy the space we have worked hard to maintain. Placing a high-density development immediately adjacent to our property would permanently change the character of our home and significantly reduce the privacy we've enjoyed for over 2 decades. This isn't about opposing growth. It's about making sure growth happens in places where it makes sense for both existing residents and families who will live there in the future. I respectfully ask that it would be denied, and I encourage development that is better suited for the surrounding land uses, which I understand it was accepted. If it is not denied, which it was accepted, I would like to ask that a concrete wall or some other type of soundproof barrier be required, such as Buckley Industries was required to do. I would just like to ask if you were looking for a place to raise your family and would intentionally choose to live in surrounded by industrial buildings on multiple sides. I don't believe that's the kind of neighborhood Park City should be creating. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. And I did not catch your name. Could you say that again?
I'm Charles Weddle.
Charles.
I'm speaking behalf on Penny Weddle.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you for coming tonight, and thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
And next? Good evening.
My name's Dan Govert, address 5245 North Lakewood Hills Boulevard. I'm the president of the Lakewood Hills Homeowners Association, And Charlie said stole some of my thunder, so my comments are very brief. I just wanted to ask if we could get a construction debris containment plan. Those of us who live south of 53rd lived through the last building project at Barr Estates, and debris blew across the road for many months. And when residents called code enforcement, they were told there's not much anything anyone could do about it because nothing in that approval required containment or cleanup. So we are asking you to write it in this time as a condition of approval. Containment on site, cleanup of debris from adjacent properties and from both sides of 53rd Street within 24 hours of notice. A site contact person's name and number posted at the entrance before grading starts so we will know who to call. And the ability for the city or an affected property owner to recover the cost if it does not happen after notice is given. So it doesn't cost the city anything. The developer will have to bear the cost. And the only way it can become real is if it's attached tonight as a condition. Because once the ordinance is adopted, the leverage is gone. So that's a simple request. We would appreciate it very much if you could help us out. So that's all I've got to say.
Dan, thank you for your comments. I know that our action we took previously wasn't what you were wanting, but I appreciate you coming in and weighing in and making us aware of the problems you had with the last one in advance. And I know the developer's here tonight too, so he knows that we're going to be watching you. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Dan, the other thing I'll tell both of you, on the city's website, there's a spot on there where you can submit comments or suggestions or things going on in the community. And when you see or if you see issues like trash or stuff like that happening, if you'll submit that, it goes directly in based on where you click in the box, if it goes to code enforcement or if it's a road public works thing or something like that. If you'll click that, it's directed the fastest to our city staff.
Where's it at exactly?
That's on the city's website. It's under, I think it's concerns and comments on our website.
Will you point to it on the website for him? And oh, by the way, sir, I get every one of those emails.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So if something isn't responded to, it's his fault. Thank you. Okay. We had a motion by Charles Swanky, seconded by Jim Schroeder. We received public comment on this item. I will now, and this is just a regular vote. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Motion passes 6-0. Okay. Item 4, discuss and consider resolution authorizing improvements to 85th and Broadway intersection.
Yes, sir. Charter Ordinance Number C-39-2019 provides the city may file with the governing body a multi-year capital improvement plan for the development of the city, including public improvements, acquisition of necessary land, acquisition of equipment, vehicles, or other personal property to be used. In May 2021, the council approved such a resolution, number 1069, authorizing and providing for payments of costs of certain improvements within the CIP. Upon approval of the CIP, the city is authorized to issue its general obligation bonds in an amount sufficient to carry out such plan and associated costs. And by resolution shall specify the amount and the purpose of the temporary notes and/or general obligation bonds to be issued. This resolution attached tonight will serve as authorization for construction/improvements of the 85th Street Broadway intersection with a total estimated cost of $2,040,583. Staff recommends approving resolution attached tonight, number 1289. The authorization, I will note, that has to be for the total amount of the construction project, although that is not what the city is expected to pay. This project has been approved by WAMPO with an 80-20 cost share split. But by law, we have to approve the total amount, but we're on the hook for 20% of that.
Okay. Jim?
I will move to approve Resolution 1289-2026, authorizing and providing for payment of the costs and certain improvements included in the multi-year capital improvement plan for the city of Park City, Kansas.
Okay. John Wells.
I second the motion.
All right, motion by Jim, seconded by John Wells. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 6-0. Item 5, discuss and consider entering into a contract with Wichita State University Public Policy Management Center to conduct a resident survey as part of the Park City Comprehensive Plan update.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The current Park City Comprehensive Plan that guides growth and development decisions for the community was last updated in 2018. Park City has grown and changed significantly since the last plan was published. Much of what Park City is experiencing today was not foreseen in the last plan rendition. Due to growth, development, community investment, and changing demographics, it is time to revise the Park City Comprehensive Plan to guide land use and planning decisions for the next decade. Planning and administration staff will carry out the majority of the work over the next year to update this key planning commission and community guidance. One critical aspect of building a comprehensive plan is to identify resident perspectives on community growth and direction. These resident perspectives help city leaders understand common themes and desires that help make better informed decisions about Park City's future. Wichita State University's Public Policy Management Center has requisite experience in building statistically significant community surveys and compiling survey results in an understandable and usable manner. City staff have engaged with PPMC to develop the scope of work that will involve development of a survey instrument to gather resident feedback on quality of life issues, city services, and growth-related priorities. PPMC will analyze the survey results and produce a final survey report that will help guide development of the final comprehensive plan. The survey delivery itself will target the September to October timeframe with a final report near the end of the calendar year. Russ Huey has extensive experience completing comprehensive plans for other communities. Community perspectives and attitudes toward community development are important considerations for a well-designed comprehensive plan. Russ is limited, however, in his ability to develop and deliver a statistically significant survey tool to a community of this size. Russ and I have met with PPMC in early July to discuss assisting the city with the survey component, and this will take significant burden off of Russ and leverage the expertise of the survey team to complete this task. I have attached the survey proposal to the agenda for review. The contract itself arrived after the agenda was published. The contract does require the city attorney's review before it can be executed. The attorney is on vacation this week, and it is expected that the contract will be ready for signatures next week upon the attorney's return from review. The physical impact, the proposal from PPMC includes the cost of $12,434 for survey development, survey execution, data analysis, and delivery of a final survey report. The city will absorb the expense for printing and mailing of paper surveys to residents at an estimated cost of $2,321. The comprehensive plan update is identified in the 2026 to 2030 Park City Capital Improvement Plan with a budget of $75,000. The funding source for this expense will be the Capital Improvement Fund. I'm asking for a recommendation for approval of authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Wichita State University Public Policy Management Center to conduct a community survey at a cost not to exceed $12,434. And with that, I'll stand for questions.
Okay. John Wells.
If nobody has any questions for him about it, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion.
Proceed.
Move to approve and authorize the mayor to execute contract with Wichita State University Public Policy Management Center to conduct a community survey for a cost not to exceed $12,434 to be paid out of the Capital Projects Fund.
Thank you, John. Jim,
I'll second it.
any further discussion? Okay. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 6, consider and approve replacement of lift station monitoring system. Ryan, thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. Public Works currently monitors and maintains 8 sanitary sewer lift stations. 3 of them, 93rd Street, 53rd Street, and the main lift station, are currently monitored with supervisory control and data acquisition software, or SCADA. Primrose, 61st and Broadway, 53rd and Broadway currently are or were monitored with software designed to work only with flight pumps. Earlier this year, council allowed us to replace those flight pumps, rendering this software incompatible. Staff contacted FTC Equipment to get recommendations on a new software that would be universal for the 5 lift stations that we aren't currently monitoring. We also contacted other municipalities that use the software for reference. The current software costs around $1,200 annually for the 3 lift stations, and new software would cost roughly $3,845 annually to cover the 5 lift stations. Staff is recommending the replacement of our current lift station monitoring software with equipment from Crystal Ball monitoring at 5 lift stations. The OmniSite quote includes monitoring units, installation, 1 year of service with real-time monitoring, and OmniAdvantage with a cost not to exceed $22,110.50 to be paid from the utility fund. I will stand for any questions.
Thank you. Council, is there any questions of Ryan? All right, I'd entertain a motion. John Wells,
I move to approve the list, wrong one. Move to approve the purchase of the lift station monitoring equipment and the first year of real-time monitoring and software, OmniAdvantage, not to exceed $22,110.50 to be paid from the utility fund.
thank you. Jim Schroeder,
I'll second that.
any further discussion? Okay, we'll call the vote. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 6-0. Thank you. Next to item 7, discuss and consider approval of delinquent recycling and trash accounts and setting a public hearing date. Marlo.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. KSA 65-3410 allows cities to assess delinquent recycling and trash fees to properties excluding any unpaid amounts that have been billed in the last 60 days. A list of the proposed amounts to be assessed to properties is included in the council's packet. The statute requires holding a public hearing to hear any objections or protests. Letters will be also mailed to the property owners at least 10 days prior to the hearing date to notify them of the date, time, and place of hearing. Staff recommends holding the hearing at the next regularly scheduled council meeting on August 11th, 2026 at 7 o'clock p.m. in order to meet the county's August 25th deadline for assessments. After the hearing, council will then be asked to consider a resolution to approve the report of delinquent fees to be assessed against the properties. Staff recommends approval of the list of delinquent recycling and trash accounts and to establish August 11th, 2026 at 7 p.m. to meet the purpose of the hearing. Any objections or protests to the representative assessments? I will stand for questions.
Thank you. Jim.
We do this every year, and I don't have any questions, so I would move to approve the list of delinquent recycling and trash accounts and to establish August 11th, 2026 at 7 p.m. to meet for the purpose of hearing any objections or protests to the respective assessments.
Thank you, Jim. Terry.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 6-0. Item 8, discuss and consider approval of delinquent stormwater accounts and setting public hearing date.
Resolution number 990, 2018, adopted by the council in April 2018 to establish stormwater fees, provides authorization to assess delinquent stormwater fees to properties. Unpaid amounts that have been billed in the last 60 days have been excluded. A list of the proposed amounts to be assessed to properties is included in the council's packet. A public hearing must be held to hear any objections or protests, and letters will be also mailed to the property owners at least 10 days prior to the hearing date to notify them of the date, time, and place of the hearing. Staff recommends holding the hearing at the next regularly scheduled council meeting on August 11, 2026 at 7 p.m. in order to meet the county's August 25th deadline for assessments. After the hearing, council will then be asked to consider a resolution to approve the report of delinquent fees to be assessed against the properties. Staff recommends approval.
Troy Hill?
I don't have any questions. I move to approve the list of delinquent stormwater accounts and to establish August 11th, 2026 at 7 p.m. to meet for the purpose of hearing any objections or protest to the respective assessments.
Thank you, Terry.
Second.
Any further discussion on this? Okay, we'll call the vote. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 6-0. All right. Next, we have council comments. We'll start out with John Wells.
I don't have anything tonight.
Charles Schwanke.
Well, I thought with the auditing report, gave us the top of the line award, I guess you might say, for it. I want to thank Dee for all the work you do on that.
Totally agree. Thank you. Terry.
Nothing further for me.
Troy Hill.
Same, nothing.
Jim Schroeder. Oh, I'm sorry, Brandy.
Whoops.
Sorry, Brandy.
I have nothing.
Jim Schroeder.
I don't have anything to report tonight either.
Very good. All right, I know Sean sent out this week the league meeting that's in Wichita this year in October. I don't know if anybody's able to go to that, but that maybe, did you already have to have that answered? Who's going to that? Or is that pending still?
You can still register. The deadline was the 27th for like a cheaper registration fee, but we still can register, and I have 2 registered, and I'm registering another one. So if anybody else wants to go, please let me know.
Who is registered so far? Charles? Oh, John? Good. Troy? Good.
So we got 3, yeah.
You going?
Yeah, I'm on.
Okay, great.
That's the,
League of Municipalities?
no, it's
October
early October, right?
8th to 10th?
Okay, now, I'll still be in the Northeast, so.
Okay, very good. All right, with that, have nothing else. I would entertain a non-debatable motion to adjourn tonight. John Wells,
I make a non-debatable motion to adjourn.
I agree with that. Okay, now we just need a second so we can shut this down. All right, Terry Osborne.
Second.
All right. Motion by John Wells, second by Terry Osborne to adjourn. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We don't oppose tonight. And motion passes 6-0. We're adjourned.